morning. I'm the tutor for crime prevention principles. Our scope for the examination-based contact class is tutor instructions, introduction actually, aims of the contact class, what do we want to achieve, structure of the examination, continuous assessment and the calculation of marks, examination preparations and tips, the course outline, and then we'll conclude. Now, my name is George Hwagup. I'm the bearer of BTech Forensic Investigation degree, and am studying towards honors in policing. I have the relevant experience of policing background. Has been a police officer between 1993 and 2013, with about 21 years of in the police and investigative experience of 20 years. Whereas I was holding various portfolios of an investigator, the unit commander, and staff officer to the Regional Crime Investigation Coordinator. My current position is Senior Financial Intelligence Analyst in the Financial Intelligence Center, Bank of Namibia. This presentation is aimed at preparing you for the exams due in 2019, for you to have the best possible chance to do well, discuss the examination structure with you, explain continuous assessment and the calculation of marks, and give you basic tips. Now, the structure of the examination will consist of 4 main questions containing sub-questions as well. You may be required to answer one of 2 questions. In example, choose question 4.1 between 4.1 or 4.2. Total points will be 120, converted to 100. Questions are from the study guide provided by Iol. You may be expected to discuss, outline, define, list, and analyze or name. Mark allocations may range between 1 to 30 marks for the questions and sub-questions. Why is continuous assessment and calculation marks included? We want to make sure that the student take the examinations seriously and align their studies accordingly. The duration of the examination for 12 credits is 2.5 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes, a written exam of 100 marks. Continuous assessment is calculated at a final pass mark of 50% is required, calculated by 60% of the examination mark and 40% of the continuous assessment mark. A sub-minimum of 50 must be attained in the examination in order to qualify for the above. For example, if your continuous assessment mark was 50, examination mark 50, it equals 40% of 50, which equals 20, calculated at 50 times 40 divided by 100. The same goes for the 60% of the examination mark of 50%, which is equaling 30. The final mark would be 50. The setting and marking of examination papers are moderated. Now, with regards to examination preparations, please write legibly and clearly. Structure your answers through headings and numbers and a logical sequence. Make sure that your student number and all details as requested are written correctly on the answer sheet. Write it in blue or black ink. Cheating in an examination will result in you being failed. Serious steps will be taken against any individual that disturbs examination sessions. Please refrain or avoid dumping of relevant and irrelevant facts at the same time. You may lose valuable points. No authorized material should be taken into the exam location. Things like cell phones should be rather left and not brought into the exam venue. Should you be responsible for any irregularities, what will happen is that the head or the invigilator, the person in charge at the venue, will collect your answering script and evidence, whatever. For example, if you had some paper that you were writing from, it will be collected. You will be requested to write an explanation. The answering script and evidence with the declaration will be provided to the Irregularity Committee for verification. No exam mark will be allocated to you for that particular subject. You will be suspended for 12 months or 2 consecutive examination sessions. It is an infringement of the examination regulations to assist any other person. Please refrain from assisting anyone. It's the invigilator's work. You just need to write exams. All cell phones, as said, must be switched off, or it must not be taken into the session. You may not leave the examination room 30 minutes during the first 30 minutes and the last 15 minutes. If you arrive later than 30 minutes at the venue, you will not be allowed to write the exam, and no turn up will be recorded. You are reminded that the question paper remains the property of IOL, so you may not remove any pages thereof. Should you need any additional writing paper, you must request for it from the invigilator. Draft work may only be done on question papers or papers provided by the invigilator. Please sign your checklist. Smoking and eating in the exam venue is prohibited. Do not dive into writing. First, make sure that you read through the question paper. For questions with 20 marks, write at least 1.5 pages. You'll understand that if you write 5 facts, you'll get 5 points only. 5 correct facts, 5 points only. If the points allocation says 20 minutes, please stick to it. Give me 20 facts. Now, the course outline. We have about 2 or 3 extra learning outcomes. Number 1, discuss the theories of crime prevention theory, crime pattern theory, identifying the targets of crime prevention. Responsibilities for crime prevention is particularly shifted to private actors. Crime prevention strains informal social control. This you need to know. You need to study towards that. 2, critically analyze the definitions and descriptions of crime prevention. What is crime prevention? Define and descriptions of crime prevention. Roles, functions of crime prevention as a critical part of policing. Crime prevention in Namibia. In example, what are the causes? Preventive measures, for example, factors why it is undertaken. Aids to crime prevention, like private security, electronic equipment, media, and neighborhood watches. Number 3, discuss crime prevention versus the criminal justice system. The goal difference. The United Nations and crime prevention, in example, guidelines for crime prevention, international support for the guidelines on crime prevention adopted by the UN. Crime prevention is a lasting feature of the government. A permanent central authority in crime prevention. What are the roles of the government, provinces, local authorities, the criminal justice system? In example, the backbone of the criminal justice system, police, prosecution authority, etc. The court, the judges, magistrates, and the defense lawyers, which is referred to as the role players. Correctional services, crime prevention versus the criminal justice system. The criminal justice is not always a solution. Crime prevention efforts are proactive. Focus shifted from the offender to the victim and potential offender. Namibian courts, its operations, mandates, etc. Number 4, explain the crime prevention approaches and strategies, crime prevention programs versus practice. It is classifying crime prevention approaches, for example, primary, secondary, and tertiary approaches, collective versus individualistic crime prevention, program versus practice. Emphasis is on problem-oriented approach. The dominant crime prevention approaches, theoretical assumptions and underlying situational crime prevention. How local governments can control and prevent. Strategies of crime prevention. An example, preventative patrol, including foot patrol, bicycle patrols, and community policing. Number 5, identify the institutions through which crime prevention programs are delivered. For example, collaboration with other institutions on crime prevention, Example, families, schools, labor markets, etc. Influence of police relations with the public, relations with police, witnesses, suspects should be studied. Now, in conclusion, one fact, one mark. If you give me one fact, you'll give 1 mark. So if the points allocation is 10, please continue to give me 10 marks, or 10 points, or 10 facts. Framework of exam investigation require that you know and understand all concepts and techniques, number your facts or use bullet points, avoid dumping irrelevant and relevant facts at the same time. You can just imagine, if you give me one fact, you should expect to get one fact. It may result in the first fact being considered. If you, for example, give me 20 facts, whereas the points are 10, and you may write the correct facts at the last point, I may consider only the first 10 marks, points that you have given me. Start your examination preparations early by making relevant notes to study. Follow the instructions closely. Use your best handwriting. Short questions may be included. And best of luck with your examination.